Good
Talk about
morning,
that
good
later.
afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Rosie Bautista from New Jersey, and here we have Nick Kellet from
Kellet
around the
from
world
Bali.
from Bali. All right, so we're in 13 hours apart, and we are coming to you live to share some cool things with you. So we were having this
Yeah,
conversation about this pitching, not the kind of pitching.
it's fluidity, and it really
Ah,
maps to the compass and the idea of will and willingness,
mm, it's true.
you know. And we have a favorite metaphor that we've talked about a lot, right? The doors,
Curious
curious doors.
doors.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is so
which is the
awesome.
name of which is going to be the name of our podcast if we ever get around to it.
Right. But
I'm sure we
it's
will.
really how we did everything. It's like
Right.
because well, for some reason there was always another door there.
So
It's like, oh
there's
no, another door to go through.
do you want to explain what is the value of curious doors?
To just never be satisfied, I think, with what you're it's not even that never be satisfied, to just to be curious
Right.
and to see what's there. And I think you taught me something in like, the crafting of images and things. You always, and it was a test to my own, like I had to really grow myself because you would say, oh, what about this? Or it was always like a little more like that made me curious and step either further outside of my comfort zone or like to try something different, even if the
Right.
different thing didn't work. But sometimes the different thing, not, I think I would say most of the time, the different thing was like, wow. And I'm like,
And
God, thank God I went through this other door to check it out versus just
right.
settling
And
on like not pushing myself.
the perfect definition of this metaphor of curiosity is to step through the door into the next room
Yeah.
and then be willing to step through the next door into the next
It's
room and then the
always
next
being
one.
willing without
There's
being,
there's never
without allowing frustration or ego
right.
or any of those things that can like, get us.
And I think, I mean, in our attempt to do 5 minutes today, we're not going to do justice to this topic, but it's like we can tell you if we could talk for an hour, 2 hours at length on this one, because in the course of this project, we have gone through so many doors that we could easily have said no to. And if we'd said no to any one of those doors, we wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah. Well, I think you also like we also made this commitment that we were going to play around. We're going to play. We're just
Right.
going to keep playing and see what really, and not even stuck, but what we could really take forward. And then we would just automatically know. We would both be like, "Oh my God, that's awesome," or "That is so
Right.
cool." Like we had
I think
the where we both agreed that we just knew that was it.
and I think something about building the airplane as you're taking off, right? Because we've done this automatically, but then we've actually noticed the pattern of what we do, and that's when we've given rules and like descriptions to it. Right. So now
Mm,
we have like a hell yeah. We have to have a
right.
double hell yeah, right?
Yeah.
Do you like
Yeah.
this? Whether it's the name of something or the idea of doing this or this image, right? And
Yeah.
we've never really we've never fallen out about anything, I don't think. It's
No,
like
but
this idea of, well, how about this? If it's not right, if it's not a hell yeah
right.
from both of us,
And
that's
there's
what we've
been how
described.
many things have we had to redo, uh
Yeah,
like we have these 9 villains that you'll get introduced to later, but they changed names multiple times.
right.
And so,
Oh,
and
and
they've
not just
changed style multiple times, right?
they have a first name, they have like a categorization name, they have a whole. We now have a spreadsheet with a whole backstory of every one of these people's lives, and
Yeah. I
they've
mean, they're
that has
deeply
changed so
explained.
much.
Yeah. I think as we dug deeper, then we said, well, this name doesn't really feel as good as this name could be.
Oh,
But, and so after you've spent so much time on something and then someone says, oh, but maybe you should switch. What about this? You could allow it to get frustrated. You could allow yourself to be frustrated. You could allow, oh, but I work so hard hard. All of that, when you put all of that aside and you just keep playing with the Play-Doh, like you just keep, okay, I'm going to keep just molding more. Like that's where really the gift is. That's where the beauty is.
And I think that's the experience of having done this a few times. If you've never invented anything, you've never created something, you're very precious to the original, you're protecting the baby, right?
Yeah.
And you're telling, you're just not fluid about it, right? But we've had so many experiences now that have reaffirmed the idea of being open, willing, the double hell yeah, right?
That's a powerful bearing on the compass, the will one, and we'll be talking about that even more. But think about like your own situations where you get yourself where you're just like, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm done. Right?
We've missed a little bit. We've jumped through it, but when we started off, we didn't even have a book in mind, right?
I think we'll come back and we'll tell you the story of how all the pieces flowed out. All right.
And it's like went from not having a book to then, just writing a manifesto, a short PDF.
Yeah.
It turned into a book. Yeah. Which then turned into 4 books, one of them being the coffee table book. The villains popped out of it. It was like, let's make them visual.
Right. And this deserves like a whole conversation. And we promised you we were only bringing you 5 minutes so that you'd be able to take in all this information. So we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye.